By 2021, India will have over 536 million smartphone users. That's up from 42 million in 2011. Not only is that a staggering growth rate, but that is an amazing number of active smartphone users, 536 million. Why am I data dumping on you? Why am I throwing big numbers out? Well, I want to talk about consumer behavior, and I wanted to talk about a problem that many digital businesses face in high growth markets, and I want to talk specifically about the purchase behavior of consumers buying major appliances, things like televisions, refrigerators, air conditioners, microwaves, etc. Key challenge is it's actually very difficult for businesses to sell online for higher ticket items like the ones I mentioned. Now, to illustrate why, I'm gonna describe two different customer sets, two different personas. The first is the sophisticated consumer. This is the digital native. This is the person like me, and I suspect many of you, people that have had access to the internet for years and years and years and years and years. And then the other person is, of this 536 million, a very significant chunk of these people will have had access to the internet within the last 2 years, and it will have most likely been mobile through their handset. Now, let's talk a little bit about how each of these groups buy, let's say for example, a television. So the sophisticated buyer will ask friends and family for sure, will pop into a store, maybe a couple, to turn it on and see if he or she likes the picture. But the bulk of that buying decision, the bulk of the research anyway, will actually be happening online. So the sophisticated person is going to pop on to a variety of review sites, probably a bunch of brand sites, a bunch of e-commerce platforms, consumer review sites, will pop onto YouTube channels like your Unbox Therapies, or your Dave 2Ds in the laptop space, and then they'll do their price comparisons and then they'll make their purchase online. The traditional buyer doesn't quite work that way. What's going to happen is he is or she is going to talk to their friends and talk to their family, and then let's imagine what a day in their life is like. They're going to come home from work at 7:45, 8 o'clock, long hard day. They're going to sit down, they're going to be tired, they're going to be hungry, they're going to have a little chat with their wife, they're going to talk to their kids, and then they're going to grab their phone and they're going to say, it's great, I'm going to buy a television now, it's going to be fantastic, I'm picturing watching cricket on the wall, it's going to be amazing. And then they open up their phone and they don't really know what to do. And this is actually a very common, because in the first 2 years of smartphone ownership, there's a couple of things. Really, there are only 3 things that the majority of traditional users in those first 2 years do. They use YouTube, they check out social media, and they'll use WhatsApp, and not a great deal more. In fact, a third of these users say that they struggle to use the internet because they doubt their own digital literacy. So they don't know how to navigate around Chrome or Google. They don't know what kind of keywords to put in. They don't know how to do any of that yet. So for the most part, they're just hanging out with those 3 platforms that we talked about. So now you got, let's say, dad sitting on the couch wanting the television, trying to understand, okay, well, is it a 40-inch I want, a 32? What's this 4K thing I heard about? What's a smart? I think I know what smart is, but do I need smart? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so this is happening with dad while he's sitting on the couch, while he's not confident in his digital search skills, and he's doing it in a language that's probably English when his mother tongue is not English. So this is a pretty high effort task for him. And so quite likely and quite often what happens is he just gives up and he says, forget it, I'll go down to the store and I'll talk to 2-3 different store owners, and I'll ask my questions directly to them in a language that I'm comfortable with, and then I'll make my purchase decision there. Now, crucially, this traditional buyer is still going to go on to your e-commerce platforms and a variety of other stores online, if only to check the price, because that he'll know how to do. That's fairly common. So this is the key challenge. The key challenge is it's considerably higher effort because of digital literacy and because of language-related challenges. And so this consumer struggles to buy online and just instead buys in the store. So what's a business to do? Now, this part is actually relevant towards any digital business, even in mature markets, trying to sell to, for example, older consumers. There's a couple things that are important. So first, on the language, bit of a no-brainer. If your platform can be in your store, can be in a variety of Indian languages, all the better. We already know that these consumers find local language material to be more trustworthy, so you'll earn more consumer trust by being in local language, particularly if you're in North India. Hindi is very, very helpful in earning people's trust, but it's expensive, and it could perhaps be quite time-consuming to convert your store into every Indian language. So there's a second thing that you can do: get some content in local language. Some very simple step-by-step instructions of what the first-time buyer would need in a variety of Indian languages to help him evaluate his options and feel like it's not so overwhelming, because it can be. The second, cheaper and probably even more effective thing that can be done is to find some unbox therapy, product review type influencers who can review your product or reach your customer in a way that you may not be able to do. Here's the simple logic. Your consumer is on YouTube, social media, and WhatsApp. If you can help him or her evaluate his or her options in their local language, in a medium that they're already comfortable with, video, and your consumer that you're targeting is this emerging middle class India, this smartphone user that's only, a year, maybe 3 max online. If this is the person that you want to target, then get your website in as many Indian languages as possible, and 2, get some video content to help them make some decisions in local language, ideally by someone that they already have a degree of affiliation with. So that is the most effective, those 2 things are about the most effective things you can do to help get more of this emerging middle class shopping, buying major appliances online. So I hope that little slice of consumer behavior of the Indian consumer anyway was helpful and relevant. Stay tuned for more of this stuff. Thank you so much. Have a great day.